What's up, guys? Welcome back and cheers. Welcome back to my little YouTube channel. So today I'm going to be talking about 5 weight loss tips, but keep me posted because I want these to be like natural, positive energy type of vibe on here. But I am going to go with like what people are watching the most or clicking on the most or the most interested in because I want to give you tips on things that help you start your day. So like if you're working out and you're watching these videos and it's helpful for me to talk about like my weight loss story and like different tips, let me know. So yeah, let's just get into it. Positive day. Cheers. It's a new day, new energy. So the first tip that I'm going to give you is progress pics, but make it a video. Like this was life changing for me. So I first started doing this when I started doing like my yoga headstands. And when I first started, I couldn't do them. I wasn't good. I would like kick up to the wall. I was like, my form was terrible. But what I did is I would take a video every time. Sometimes I'd post on Instagram, sometimes I wouldn't, but I was like, okay with like showing people like I'm a beginner. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just like trying it. It's a new hobby. And then it actually became one of the best things that I do for stress management. So we all read blogs about this. We all read blogs about how to de-stress and how to cope with a pandemic. And I'm telling you, going upside down will give you a better view, okay? So I was doing these headstands all through the pandemic. I still do them. And then even when I had experiences with like anxiety or like panic attacks, whatever, like headstands will completely like center you back to reality. It might not work within seconds, but it will absolutely help. So why am I telling you this? Because this was the first time that I realized if you take videos, you can actually correct your form and work on things that you didn't really know you needed to work on. So like one time I recorded just like a little hit circuit I was doing. And when I watched myself do push-ups, I was like, oh my God, like I thought it was like so good, like knocking these push-ups out, but I was like barely going down. You know what I mean? Um, if you see my hand here, I hopped a fence. So don't hop fences, kids. So anyways, it's healing. It's fine. I mean, I'm a healer. It's fine. But take like a progress video. I even did this with like trying on wedding dresses. I had like my mom go around and do like a 360 thing. Just because I wanted to see how it flows and how it fits in like, yes, you can look at yourself in the mirror. You can even take a picture of the dress, but like you're not there looking at yourself. So like, I don't know, maybe you see it and you go, oh, like the train isn't as long as I thought, or like the back is, a lot lower than I thought or a lot higher than I thought. So taking videos for progress is a really great tip. It's not just like take a picture, which I feel like is good. Like obviously a picture in the same outfit 30, 60, 90, a year later, 2 years later is like super motivating. But I have videos of myself of like me 50 pounds heavier, like in the mirror, like doing whatever, like just doing like front, side, back. And it is so motivating to me. Like now when I'm being like critical, because we can all be critical of ourselves, but now when I'm being critical, I'm like, girl, you go back and look at that video, honey, like you have come so far. So anyways, it's a great way to stay motivated. It's a great way to show up for yourself. And I feel like weight loss tips, as much as I could sit here and tell you to eat egg whites and do an egg diet or something, the real long lasting ones are the ones that keep you showing up and keep you feeling great and motivated and all those things. And if you are taking progress pictures, especially a video, you see firsthand what you need to work on. And yeah, for me, it's been like such an eye-opening thing. Like even doing squats, I'm like, you're not down far enough. Like, and this is just me looking at myself working out. Like, and I recently started doing this. It's not stuff that I plan to upload. It's just for me to look at like, oh, okay, I need to get my butt down when I'm planking or whatever. So progress pic, but try a video. The second thing I'm going to say is don't take yourself seriously or too seriously. By the time you are done coming up with the perfect playlist, writing down all your perfect, workouts that you're going to do, you could have been done. So like, don't take yourself too seriously. Like, just get it done. Like, there's so many times like I'm like, all right, I want to go for a walk, or I want to go running, or I want to hit the gym. And instead of like overhyping myself up, if I just get there, I'll just do something. And like, that's good. There you go. You don't need to like build Rome in a day. You don't need to have these like monumental workouts to achieve weight loss. You actually just have to get it done. And I wish a lot of people knew that. Like, the faster you get outside, the faster you'll figure it out. So like, if you don't have the perfect YouTube video to watch and you can't find anything, just start walking while you're looking for it. I feel like I'm always saying like, just move, just move. And of course it's all about your wellness wheel. Rest is important, but this video is about motivating you. So yeah, instead of like coming up with like the perfect thing, just like start doing something. I've even had times where I would be so bored with everything, the gym, my elliptical, running, walking, like everything was boring me. So I would just start doing something, just anything, a workout that I remembered from high school, something I remembered from college. And like, just switching it up helped me so much mentally. So don't overthink it, but like, definitely just do something. Because I think a lot of times we do things in our head. We're like, yeah, we're going to do a yoga stretch. And then like, you're just not even like stretching. Like, you're not even doing that basic toe touch of like just touching your toes in the morning. So like, just do something, start with something. It can be touching your toes, reaching up to the sky, and that was your yoga pose for the day, and that is fine. And now that we're rhyming, we know we're on a podcast. So if you're not familiar, I do have a podcast on Spotify, Anchor, Apple, Pandora. Chelsea Swift is your spirit animal. I also link like a bunch of little podcast motivational things that you can listen to at the end of this. And then I also have my blog linked that gives you a bunch of weight loss tips, recipes, skinny drinks, apparel, all that good stuff. Like this sports bras from my shop. I love it so much. So cute. So anyways, protein. Make protein the star of your meal. Like, I already know that you know that, and that was totally a word hurdle that I'm just going to ignore. But I know that you know that protein is the star of like the show. But I feel like it's important to know how much protein you actually need. Sometimes I think people take it too far. Like, they just start living off chicken and then it gets gross. Or they just start, living off protein shakes and then that just gets gross. So know how much you need so that you can build a plan for yourself that is like not just sustainable, but like something that makes you like feel really energized and excited. Because a lot of plants carry protein too. So you can even look up like plant-based protein, because that's a great way to get protein, like extra protein is what I'm saying. So if you put certain foods, you're mixing certain foods that have plant protein and animal protein, you'll get like double the protein. And you won't have to be doubling up on chicken or doubling up on plants. You can get like a nice balance. So everybody has their diet, everybody has their whatever. But I feel like it's so important to know like your personal, like how much do you actually need? And then just stick with that. I think sometimes people go over, or they go under, or they keep getting it from the same source. And like, your body likes the variety, and your body actually likes to consume it better when it's coming from something natural, like an animal source or a plant source. So try to focus on your protein from animals and plants. I'm not knocking cheese or dairy or anything like that. I'm just saying that for the most part, that is the star of the show, is like your plant protein and your animal protein. But just like make sure that you have a nice balance depending on your diet. If you're mostly plants, then obviously it's going to come from plants. But just knowing how much you need is probably the most like the key to that tip. Because I know I was so under on protein one time, and I was working out and I wasn't getting results, and you can't build muscle without enough protein. And also you don't have to go over it. So if your protein count is, 135 grams, you don't have to eat 175 to build more muscle. Like I used to think would have to eat more, but it's so personal. It's not even funny. Like your height, your size, your weight, like everything matters. And you don't have to eat, monsters amount of like protein in order to get results. So, but you do have to eat enough. And it's the same thing with water. I used to think I'm going to drink like a gallon of water, but you don't. You have to drink the amount that is for your body. Like your turtle shell, your little tank. What does your little tank need today? So figure that out, figure out how much protein you need, and then try to balance it out with like plants. So you might not be plant-based, but plants always give you more energy and make you feel energized. I'm like 80% plant-based. So I don't like push that on people, but I'm always like add plants to something and you'll feel really good. So the next thing I was going to say is breakfast of champions. So some people do fasting. Some people don't eat breakfast at all, but here's what I would say. If you don't eat breakfast and you do fast and whatever, everybody has what works for them in their body. But I think it's important to eventually build the relationship with your body that you are not starving yourself or pushing yourself past the point where like you are hungry, but you're in fasting. And I can talk about that because I've done that. I used to fast until like 12 and 2 sometimes, and then stop eating around 8 o'clock. And although at first it was effective, eventually my body, I had some serious like complications. I started to get like anxiety from it. I experienced like a panic attack from it. So I'm just being honest that sometimes something that's healthy won't work for you. And you have to know that right away. So some cues are fatigue, getting a headache, being hungry, having low energy. These are all signs that you are not eating enough, that you're not sustaining enough. So why is this a weight loss tip? Because I feel like all you have to do is just enhance your breakfast. So just make sure your breakfast is a champion. So if you're not a breakfast person, when you do get hungry, just eat like an orange or eat some berries, eat some blueberries and strawberries. If you're not, if you're trying to train yourself to eat breakfast after fasting, try a smoothie, something really light that is really good, or like a green juice or like a beet juice. If you're somebody that overeats for breakfast, you have like this big breakfast, or you go through the drive-through, you get the same thing every time. Slowly but surely implement something with that that's healthy. So like, sure, get your little, McMuffin sandwich, but like try it with an egg white, and then maybe try it with like an avocado, or try to bring a banana with you or bring an orange with you or something like that to kind of offset what you're eating. Another thing is I used to, when I was like 50 pounds heavier, I used to have these big breakfasts in the morning where I would have like 2 eggs, home fries, like sausage, 2 pieces of toast. It was like a breakfast I would never eat now, not even on a Sunday fun day, because there's nothing in there nutritionally. It's just all blah. So, but what would be balanced is like 2 eggs with 2 pieces of toast and some avocado and some fruit would be totally fine. And that's still a pretty substantial amount of food, a pretty big breakfast. So that's why I bring that up, is like, make sure that your breakfast is an actual champion before you set out to change any of your other foods. If you start with your breakfast, it's like you telling yourself, like, this is how we're going to start our day. It's almost like waking up and having like positive affirmations. Like, the sooner you start to tell your body or yourself, like, this is how we're doing things, the sooner it can adapt. But like, if you have the same breakfast and the same lunch and then you try to skim on dinner, you're going to be hungry. You're going to find yourself snacking. So it's better to like work it in reverse, start with your coffee or your beverages first, then start with your breakfast, make it a champion, then go for your lunch, and then go for, etc. The last tip that I'm going to give you is carbs in the AM, plants in the PM. The reason I give you this tip, and it's not that you can't have carbs at night or anything like that, because there's definitely days where I'm like hungry and I'm like, I'm definitely making a sweet potato with dinner, or I'm definitely making a low carb wrap instead of like a salad for dinner. Like, so I always have some type of like vegetable and protein, obviously, with dinner, but sometimes I'm like, oh, I need like a carb. I'm hungry, and that's way better for you than saying, oh, I'm not hungry. And then 2 hours later, like you're either snacking or starving. It's silly. If you're hungry, eat something. But I say carbs in the AM because you are more likely to burn them off and they give you more energy throughout the day. So I personally try to do most of like my plant carbs in the morning, if that makes sense. Like I'm more apt to like have an orange and have a banana and stuff like that in the morning than I am in the later evening, just because I know that that's going to give me more energy to power through and do all the things. So that would be my fast 5 tips for you for today. Progress pics, but take a video. It really is life changing. Like there's so many times I've done that I'm like, I thought I looked good in that, but apparently not. Like, you know what you look like in the mirror and like in a selfie, but like until you take like a 360 video of yourself, like in a wedding dress or like doing push-ups, then you're like, okay, now I see it. The second thing is like, don't like be your own roadblock today. Like just go get it done. Like you could be so bored with working out, but like if you just like start doing something, like, you know, put your headphones in, listen to some good music, some positive affirmations, and like just start getting it done and you will feel so much better. So the next thing is protein. Make it the star of your meals, but like make sure that includes plants too. I think a lot of people forget that plants have a lot of protein. You don't need like all this like, you know, a veggie burger to like replace your animal protein. But like if you are making a wrap or a salad and you put some, you know, edamame in there with some, you know, grilled chicken, or you did like an egg, you know, with some beets or something like that, you'll get the bonus of having the protein from not just the egg, but also the beet and everything like that. So just mix it up, find your own beet. And yeah, just only eat as much as your body needs. That's the other thing is like, I used to overeat on protein and like didn't eat enough. Like I just wasn't balanced in the beginning. And I wish I knew that like, it's not going to get me there faster. Like eating more protein is not going to get me to my goal faster. I'm not going to build muscle faster. Like what's meant for my body is what's meant for my body. So like you don't need to like I always say, waterboard yourself or like eat way too much protein. So add plants to everything. That's always my goal. Even my water, I'm like adding blueberries in there and stuff like that. Carbs in the AM, plants in the PM, but like don't feel like, you know, if you eat a salad and you know you're eating food and like you're feeling good and you're like, I'm kind of still hungry, like don't be afraid to eat like carbs. Like it's fine as long as it's like a good carb, you're fine. And then just start with your beverage or your breakfast and make it a champion. Like I started with my coffee. I went from eating like a large regular caramel macchiato with whipped cream and the drizzle and everything down to like a medium, down to a small, eventually 2 pumps of caramel to 1 pump to almond milk. Like it takes time to bring it on down, but a large is just way too much. Even a medium is just a lot. So you don't realize how much sugar and calories and fat and all that you're drinking until you really look at it and you're like, whoa. So that would be a tip, but also like your breakfast should be a champion. It should be like the food that makes your day and kind of like the food that sets you on your way onto like a healthy path. So guys, if you like this video, check out my podcast. It's Chelsea Swift is Your Spirit Animal. That is on Pandora, Spotify, and Apple. And I will see you guys on our next pep talk.